Chris, a disappointing afternoon. I suppose it all hinged, didn't it, on the incident after 15 minutes. What did you make of it?
Yes, it did, and it's probably taken the result, the whole game into account. I've got no complaints as regards the challenge on the keeper. We had the best chance of the game to take the lead, and probably that's almost where we are at the moment. I think we're not creating numerous chances in games, numerous clear-cut chances in games, but we're certainly being in good enough areas and having enough chances to take that pressure off ourselves. That being the case, what we can't do is concede goals like we did the first goal, and I feel sorry for Yates, because I think he's been put in a position that it's an instinctive reaction, and he's a wholehearted individual, honest individual, and I think that's it's an instinctive decision. For that moment, it was always going to be hard, and what you can't afford then to do is to concede from a set play. I think it's going to be hard enough in general play, and they're a very good side, have a lot of good footballers, so they were always going to have a good percentage of that ball in that period. It's normal stuff, but we've gone through a 90 minutes where probably apart from Mayte when he comes inside, haven't had a clear chance in 90 minutes, so you have to stay in the game. And so that's probably the second goal is almost as disappointing as the first one for me, because it really makes it incredibly hard to get back in the game after that.
And that first goal, as you mentioned, you have sympathy with Ryan Yates. He should never have to have been in that position in the first place, should he?
No, he shouldn't. It's it's the type of ball it's part of the game. It's a good ball in swinger, and it's one that as a goalkeeper you've got to deal with. And as I say, from that moment on, then Yates is put in a position where he's got to make a decision, and it's instinctive. But we should never have been in that position in the first place. And the disappointment is that that's the two sides of a lot of what we've been speaking about in recent games. We have the best chance of the game just before that. And then we concede what is a really poor goal to concede, which makes it from that moment on a very difficult game against a top team.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard work for the 10 men that were left out there, wasn't it? And as you say, the second goal early in the second half has almost killed off any real hope of a comeback, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think as a manager, when that second goal goes in, then there's that balance between as regards making sure that you're not conceding that third and fourth and staying in the game and giving yourself a chance to stay in the game. So that balance can only be taken up by the players that are playing, and the wide players giving the front players some support. And so, but it was always going to be difficult. These are a good side, and they showed it.
And you could see, I think, with one or two of the challenges, two of the things that were going on the field, how frustrated your players were becoming by the end of it.
Yeah, I think it's frustration, but that's part of the game, and what they have to do, they have to show character once they're out on the pitch. And if I go back to the last time we were down to 10 men at Luton, we certainly were able to show that, but we were also able to stay in the game. And I've no doubts if at 1-0 perhaps there would have been a little bit less frustration because we're still in with a shout. But I think as soon as the second ball goes in, I think it becomes a very frustrating afternoon.
Clearly it's special circumstances today with the way the game happened and that incident after 15 minutes, but 5 games without a goal is a hard situation to keep players motivated in, isn't it? Yes,
but that's my responsibility, and the responsibility is myself and the players and how they train, and to make sure that we change that cycle. It's fact, it's here to see, so it's not one that we can avoid. And it's only us again that can change it. And as I say, it's either about continue to work hard on the training pitch, to show more in games, show more endeavour in games, and probably more it's about showing more quality once we're in that final third. And I think it would be a bigger concern for me if we weren't getting into them areas. Today's a little bit different but certainly if I'm looking at a midfield game against Watford at home, where we got into enough really good positions to at least be able to capitalise on something. So that would be a bigger concern, but it is a big concern at the moment because we are not picking up the points that we need to pick up.
When you say you want your players to show more, is it almost a bravery thing? Do you need them to be a bit braver to kind of take situations by the scruff of the neck?
No, I think it's about quality. It's about individual quality. It is about maybe getting. One thing that we have spoken to them about is making sure that we're getting enough bodies into the box. That we did do on Wednesday night. And even looking back on it, so that's is not a complaint. It's just, I say, just that little bit more quality on that final ball, a little bit of individual flair once we get into them areas, and players to step up to the mark. What we have is that we have players in offensive areas that have quality, and what they've got to be able to do is they've got to be able to show that in offensive areas.